Jeff Passan, ESPN Senior Baseball Insider. He is joining us from the city of Seattle. Home Run Derby tonight at 8 Eastern on the Mothership and ESPN2. I'm curious, at what point do you become an insider? And do you declare yourself an insider? Or are you designated an insider?
Dan, I've been an outsider my entire life, so I have no idea at which point I became an insider, and it was 100% definitively not a self-appointed title.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave that to the others and just ride the wave as long as I can.
All right. Serious question here. Can the commissioner put Ellie De La Cruz into the All-Star game?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
He actually has there's a commissioner's discretion choice.
Yeah.
Where he could have done that, and he did not. And he didn't because I think generally speaking, the commissioner in the many years that this has been available, and by that I mean I think it's been like once that he's done this with Miguel Cabrera last year. It tends to be for a veteran player, a player who is sailing off into the sunset, and that's the opposite of Ellie De La Cruz. But if there were some sort of special dispensation for a player who's awesome and just broke onto the scene and warrants inclusion, yes, I would love to see that. Now, I will give MLB credit for this. They invited Ellie De La Cruz to the Home Run Derby, and he declined the invitation. I don't know, Dan. Don't you think the Derby is like almost more of an event now than the game itself? I mean, if he's at the Derby, he's going to be at all the festivities. He's going to be on national television. He's going to be doing the thing that you like seeing him do, which is hit balls really far, among many other things. But I don't think that the difference between a Derby invitation and an All-Star invitation is all that different anymore. In fact, a Derby invitation is a lot rarer than an All-Star invitation, considering everyone and their mom gets an All-Star invitation now because of all the injuries and guys who are pulling out.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, the nation wouldn't be aware of Julio Rodriguez maybe as much because of, Home Run Derby. Pete Alonso has made a name or a bigger name for himself there at the Home Run Derby. I get it. Plus, you would be able to have him exposed to the media in different markets that maybe wouldn't be following the Cincinnati Reds. And baseball needs more of these stories. It feels like the story is, does Shohei Ohtani stay with the Angels? If you're the Angels, do you trade him? What happens at the trade deadline? How much is he going to, bring in as far as a contract there? That is just a looming cloud. I don't know if it's a dark cloud, but it's a looming cloud over Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's a dark cloud at all. I think the fact that Major League Baseball has a storyline that is going to extend well into the NFL season and be news and be like genuine and legitimate news is a great thing for baseball. But, once the NFL starts, Dan, every other sport has a really difficult time getting market share, to put it very bluntly.
Yeah.
Like the NFL is such a leviathan. It is such like an unrelenting beast on our attention that baseball always runs the risk of fading into the background and becoming a sport whose postseason is consumed only by fans of the teams that are in it. And the idea that you're going to have this event in the off season that is the most talented player we've ever seen becoming a free agent and getting the largest contract in North American sports history.
Oh, so you don't think anything happens at the trade deadline? You think this story is going to be in the offseason?
Oh, no. I'm not suggesting that right now. I'm just looking months ahead. I think the trade deadline is turning into a fascinating case because I think everyone who's thinking logically in front offices right now believes that the Angels should trade Ohtani before the deadline. Not just because they want him for their own.
Wait, things really changed in the last 2 weeks with Trout injured, and they've lost 9 of 10, and now all of a sudden. Okay, but let's add some logic to this. We're talking to the baseball insider, Jeff Passan, from the mothership. Okay. If I'm the Angels and I go to Shohei Ohtani's agent and I say, are you going to test the market? Or do you want to start negotiations now? Just let us know one way or another, because we as a franchise have to do what's best for us. And while we want to re-sign him, if you guys are going to test the market, we run the risk of not getting anything for him. Have those conversations taken place?
I think that conversations like that have taken place at some point. I don't know how recently, though.
But I got to know that, Jeff. If I'm the Angels, I have to say to Ohtani and his representative, help us. Let us know. You want to stay here? We're going to make accommodations. But if you want to test the market, then you're testing our patience here, and we're going to run the risk of not getting anything when the Dodgers come in and decide that every night's going to be Japanese Heritage Night there.
Dan, I don't disagree with your premise here, but I also think you're simplifying it a little more, not than is logical. You are being extremely logical right now. I think you're simplifying it more than is realistic.
Okay.
And I say that because the way that Artie Moreno, the Angels owner, looks at it is that we have a once-in-a-lifetime player, and I'm not going to be the fool who traded him. And we're not going to give another team an opportunity to essentially spend the last 2 months of the season not just winning with him, but recruiting him. And perhaps,
but you could be the fool who didn't get anything for him.
You're right. And that has been the Angels' path the entire time, that they're going to be the fools who get like the 70th overall pick instead of getting an enormous trade haul and re-energizing your farm system at the deadline and building a new Los Angeles Angels without arguably the greatest player ever. The conundrum here is not what is the right thing to do. All of us know what the right thing to do is, Dan. The conundrum is, can the owner who has been, shooting himself in the foot for essentially the past 2 decades, can he do what the right thing to do is, as opposed to letting his emotions about the whole situation overwhelm him into not? Because I don't think the Angels are making the playoffs now.
All right, what would you do? What would you do with Ohtani?
Oh, my God. I would trade him.
Okay.
100%. Absolutely.
Okay.
If I were the owner of the Angels,
yes.
I would say, Shohei, thank you for your service. We need to do what's right for this organization. We hope that you're part of it. We understand, though, after 6 years of not winning, why you wouldn't want to be.
And your first call would be to which organization?
I wouldn't have to make any calls. I would spend the next 2 weeks for 24 hours on the phone with everybody begging me to take their trade. And I would leverage it so hard. And I would love to do it with the Dodgers.
But would Artie Moreno not want to send him to the Dodgers because of the proximity?
Of course, but then would he want to send him to the Giants? No, because they're going to be in the mix.
No, I'm okay with the Giants. I can't have him with the Dodgers. Like the Giants, I could see. And
but again, here's the thing: your logic here falls on its face. If you trade him because you're looking to get the best package back. You need to divorce yourself.
I agree.
From the emotion in this situation.
But this is an owner. The ego of the owner of having Ohtani just down the road, and maybe we didn't get the best deal, but I can't be reading about him in the LA Times every day. I can't see him on the local news every day. Put him in San Francisco or some other place.
I mean, Ohtani and you know what I would like Ohtani in Atlanta.
Oh God!
I just want to see him on that team.
Oh my God!
just to see how good they can be, because they are a really, really
okay.
good team, man.
Paulie thinks the Braves. He said the Braves could win 116 games in the preseason. He said the Braves will win 116 games.
I think they've lost too many to get to 116, right? Like, isn't 116 like a 46 loss season, and don't they have 29 already?
Yeah. Well, you can't say no chance. It's low chance.
Yes, low chance.
Right.
I did pick them to win the World Series before the season, so I'm with you, Paulie. I wasn't going 116 wins. It's a little aggressive.
All right. Well, Jeff, thank you. Enjoy the festivities there. Home Run Derby tonight on the Mothership at 8 Eastern. He's a senior baseball insider, not to be confused with just an insider. He's Jeff Passan. Jeff, thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one. Enjoy the Derby tonight.
That's Jeff Passan.